Hi, I'm Rob Dahm, and this is where the channel came from. As you guys know, I love the HKS super sequential blow-off valve. It's where I came from on my FD, but I also love modern and high horsepower turbos. And sadly, the two do not mix. You can see right here, it's about 1 inch in diameter. That's kind of a massive difference in terms of air getting out of here. The Turbo Smart blow-off valve operates exactly the same way as this, but it is meant to solve the problem that a lot of people don't realize blow-off valves can help do, and that is help with compressor surge. Used to think that wasn't a big deal, like, okay, cool, compressor surge, yeah, you got the ported shroud, the ring around the outside, and that messes with the turbo. And I don't mean like health-wise, I mean like airflow-wise, and when it messes with airflow, now at certain pressures, you're not getting the same amount of air, and so you're going lean and rich. So I have witnessed that firsthand on the FC, and so that is something that has to be axed out of the car's ecosystem. We need to have air consistently going into the intake that is metered and proper. What we are doing right now is we cut this off. We're gonna weld a little plate over that because that hole is too small, and then we're going to simply swap blow-off valves and see if the car has compressor surge. This right here is probably the icing on the cake for the FC build. This came from the guys from Melee, M-E-L-E. So if I'm butchering your name, I'm sorry, but my man, you helped me out big time on this. This is actually meant for the anti-gravity battery. It was the guys at anti-gravity that said, check what these guys are doing out. It's so sick. Actually, the guys went and vectorized my logo for me. And look at that. I don't deserve my logo to look that nice. That is so sick. Look at the craftsmanship on stuff like this. I would never be able to build something this nice, even if all the tools we have in the shop. I just don't think this far ahead. Mitch, yeah, this is my guy, and he builds these things. I've been talking to Mitch forever, didn't put the two together. And so Mitch makes these boxes for anti-gravity batteries. And of course, they're made out of aluminum, super lightweight, tons of mounting options. So clean. Even numbered it for me. Simple, right? Instead of trying to do straps and all that sort of stuff, nice rubber stops. Mitch, thank you so much. That is badass. And so this is meant for my little baby anti-gravity on this car. And we're gonna go ahead and put this in and find the right way to mount it properly and really just show off the sort of craftsmanship these type of guys make. Just got all that work done for me, and I am so impressed at how insulated this battery is from motion. Look at that, that is nice and clean. It still puts everything where we wanted them. I am also impressed that it just simply pull open and we can pull the battery out. This is very well designed. I'm extremely happy with it. You can even see the current status of the battery. That is fully charged, ready to go. Definitely gonna say that this will pass tech without a question. Probably the only battery container in my entire existence that'll pass tech. I think we can tell where the restrictions are right here. That little guy. If I had more time, I'd love to weld a larger tube on here. The point of all of this is not to say, oh, I think I can make this thing work to 500 horsepower. I know it won't. But to be able to control the way a turbo works when it's high efficiency, there's a lot of power in that, and it makes me a better builder. Learning is very important, and if I'm not constantly learning, trying different things, you're not growing. Even this intake's fine. It's this right here. I don't have anything to do that. So what we're gonna do is patch this area off and put this guy on, line it up, and curse a lot and get it welded on. I cannot stress this enough. This is my biggest enemy or weakness when it comes to welding aluminum. Steel is fun. Steel is a lot of fun. Even stainless steel, as soon as you get used to it, it's a lot of fun. Aluminum, I'm its bitch. Like you see me here with acetone, prepping the surface is like, yeah, prep the surface, but no, prep the surface again. And the reason why is aluminum oxide looks just like aluminum. You'll never be able to tell. Even as soon as I'm done wiping the oxide layer off a little bit, it's forming almost immediately. Between using acetone and like a stainless wire brush that you only use for aluminum, prepping the surface right before you weld is the biggest, because otherwise it starts doing weird things, like the arc will wander because of the protective layer of the oxide. So you'll see like the spark will go all the way over here when you're pointing it right there. annoying as hell. Right, wish me luck, guys. This is where the profanity gets bad. Gotta get my zen, my relaxation. Think it's steel. Think it's mild steel where you can just go as hot and fast as you want. This is my first aluminum in probably like a couple months, and I'm not upset with it. Prep work makes the dream work. It's kind of like riding a bike. Look at this, I kind of came back into my own, trying to do longer passes and everything, so I'm happy. But anytime there's a gap, oh my god, those gaps kill you. First time welding in a long time, but 100% functional. It looks okay. If you paid for this, you wouldn't be that happy, but at the same time, if you got all the horsepower that comes out of it, you'd be happy. My gut is I want to redo a pass just because of all that shit, but not worth the time. So now we can cut the inside of this out and attach our new blow-off valve onto here. And I do really like that it comes on a slight angle, so more air is prioritized to the blow-off valve given this restriction. This is another good test worthy of the effort. Okay, so we cleaned this inside out completely, brake clean, dust and everything, so we're gonna go ahead and test fit it. So that looks good to me. Okay, we have that new blow-off valve installed. We have Mitch's battery box, Melee design, just excellent, clean. I don't deserve a car looking this clean at all, and so I will respect it to the fullest, but that also means that I have to be able to have it run 100%, 0%, and everything in between. So we are going to fire it up and see if my compressor surge is solved simply by changing blow-off valves. It sounds good, but yeah, we should be able to see the blow-off valve floating when I'm revving and whatnot, and that is allowing the turbo just to live its best life. And so I'm almost yelling too loud because this car is so much more tame than most of them. Normally I'm like, this is the 3-router, we're trying to, you know, this time we don't have to do that. Oh, I do love this car. So we're gonna let it warm up a little bit more, and then we're gonna watch the Turbo Smart blow-off valve and see if it does what it's supposed to do. Feeling for air out of this, I can feel the suction, and we're watching for this blow-off valve. You can see how much air that thing is breathing. That is saving my situation because that turbo wants to shove all that air into the engine, and I wish I could take it. If we had bigger intercooler, if we had a bigger throttle body, all the things that are very, very small in the stock T2, those are limitations, and this is growing, this is learning how to do and work with those sort of limitations or identify when that is the problem. So I would recommend definitely using a massive Turbo Smart blow-off valve if you're gonna upgrade your Turbo 2 with a modern, utterly insanely efficient turbo. Oh my god, it's all going in, and then it's just, that's massive difference, massive difference. Like, obviously I don't want to get my hand any closer to the turbo, but you have to take my word for it a little bit, that I feel the suction, the general atmospheric air being pulled into the turbo. No longer do I feel like a center hole, like a hurricane, and the outer shroud shooting air out. That is completely gone. So this is properly sized for this situation. It's not even bleeding off air that you would think would be necessary for performance. It is just keeping that turbo happy. And as a result, with that compressor surge gone, it keeps your tune happy. Thankfully, we've got even more of the interior of the car done. We got the passenger seat in. We've got the next door neighbor beeping like crazy. We've got the glove box back in. I can finally tuck all my wires and put them hidden where they needed to be, but it looks like a full car on the interior. It is beautiful. that was me just checking my tune compared to how it used to be to how it is. And what you will notice is at certain spots, I have about 5% less air, which sounds like a negative, and I guess you could argue that it is, but the reliability and the consistency is worth that little bit less air. Of course, if I was gonna try and get more air into the system, I would have ported it bigger or got rid of all the T2 throttle body stuff. But what I'm gonna do now as an insurance policy is turn on the closed loop thing just to cover if I go too far, and we'll just do a little baby pull and we'll compare apples to apples, look at this pull versus all of the previous ones and see if the blow-off valve solved my problems. You can hear that the car is so much more stable. I've got a lot more tuning to do now that it's actually changed considerably, but the boost is just so much more predictable. Okay, the waves are way smaller. I have this on a very accurate, I should probably tone down the accuracy of this to like smooth it out, but the waves, the ultimate waves are gone. This is each rotor asking for air, like that sort of level. So this is what it was before, and this is what it is now. That is much tighter, way tighter. And we are very fortunate. There's an event tonight called Andy's Sleigh Ride. Adam's Time Attack. I'm in like a Halloween mood. We're doing a couple things to get ready for that. If you guys remember with the 3-rotor, I got in a lot of trouble for not having running lights. I have headlights and I have brake lights. If you don't have running lights, step one is we're actually going to be replacing all the bulbs with LED bulbs so the running lights don't take up much amperage, because I'm going to just short one of them over to the battery and I don't want that circuit draining the car. That way we have running lights and the car runs smooth.
This is the old and this is the new. You know, see, you get light from 5 ways. I don't know if you guys ever watched Blade, but these things remind me of those the little light balls. Light balls, light bombs, like grenades that they had. You remember that, right? Wasn't that what this looks like?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
fucking
that's exactly what this looks like.
Yeah.
This one actually goes into the rear reflector area.
Thankfully, the previous owner had a second one of these, and I wondered why. Well, the switch inside of here, it's not just a low power relay, it's actually the power has to travel through this to go to the lights. And so that's a higher power. And whenever you have higher power circuits that open and close, you're more likely to have corrosion. And that's exactly what happened. The old one corroded. So now when we plug this in, everything's gonna melt down. We'll plug that in, and then you can hear that. The car's happier. There's lights somewhere. We'll plug it all in and we've got a car. You should be both proud of me and upset with me that I am driving a car in this high of quality. Those of you that are purists know that I'm about to do some damage to the car. Those of you that see these cars sit in the garage, which are the majority of you, want to see this car in action. And of course, up the line, 3, 4, and so on. But we're gonna do our best expel job. We have not yet had the detailer do any sort of finalized detail to this. So like all of his wet sanding on it has not been done, which is good, because that means that we've got extra clear coat to deal with right now. But this poor car, this is just the inevitable part about driving them.
Should have used this on the Lambo, dude. It would have.
I do it on the Lambo. You see it on the. Yeah.
No, but it's not yellow.
Oh, I get it. Because these tires are gonna get sticky. Thanks to Kumo, this is actually probably the biggest problem. If these were normal street tires, this would be not a necessary step. But we've got the Extas V730s, and even cold, they're picking up all the stuff in the parking lot.
First drive, you could hear
First drive, click, 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 click. That's clearly a testament to how sticky these tires are. Every time I do this to any of my cars, I always regret how little I do. I'm like, I've never once gone, yeah, that was enough.
Hey, what's leaking?
Oh,
Yeah,
the turbo
see.
downpipe isn't, the oil return line isn't plugged in. So if you're ever wondering how much oil a turbo gets at idle, this is when you don't have the oil return line. That's how much oil goes to the turbo. Even with that super small restrictor, it really wants as little oil as possible. I set everybody else up for failure because I bent it and hid it behind all the other wires because it was getting in the way, and I didn't want it to fill up with coolant because the coolant was pouring out while I was dealing with something else. And so
It's not pretty fast.
yeah, all I did is turned it on and just backed it out. So this looks just like my tighty whities. I'm joking.
So I got my boy some nice rain X for all three of his wipers, and this is professional. It doesn't even rain out here, but when it does,
Ooh, extra frosty.
One's not working.
We'll warm it up a little bit and then we'll see what it thinks. And let's see if it sounds different on revving. The turbo should sound a little bit better. Yeah, listen to that turbo. She's able to spin more freely. I'm about to show you something really advanced that's been plaguing me over and over again. We've filmed so many pulls of the same thing over and over again, but something triggered my mind. So I'll show you what. I'm gonna trigger rotor 1's secondary injector. Listen to this. I just flooded out my motor, at least on rotor 1, but what you heard was the secondary injector, the big boy, click, 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 opening and closing as a test. We're gonna go ahead and do that on the rear rotor. That's me clicking the button over and over again. Nothing's happening. Wiring issue, injector issue, we're about to figure it out, but because of the temperature on the two plugs, I felt like there was this difference between rotor 1 and rotor 2. Sure enough, there is. What triggered my mind is I was like, man, I set my map up so the boost section at 3 or 4 psi is when the secondaries start to make the change. The primaries come up to that point and then stay there, and then the secondaries say, yeah, I got you, and I'll start adding more fuel from there. And it wasn't making a difference. The results you're getting when one rotor is super rich and the other rotor is super lean, what happens is you mix the two together and you have a wideband O2 collecting the sum of both. You don't get the right results. That's why I was going to do EGTs. We would have seen temperature differences between the two and found out. But I'm going to go ahead and diagnose that right now and finally do a damn boost pull. Totally different result. That car went to absolute shit just because it's so rich. It started breaking up. So I'm gonna take some of that fuel out that I added out of fear. Absolute fear. I'll tell you what, I am impressed. I did not think this narrow of tires would have actually been able to hold that. Did you hear? I didn't lock up or anything.
No.
I wasn't gonna hit the brakes too hard, but it's hard to describe how insane that pull is. That was a very, very strong pull. Was not expecting that.
How much boost you had?
That was unfortunately 21 PSI. That's bad.
Oh, shit.
I found the limit of the wastegate. The wastegates were finally, I could hear them opening up. Don't do that on pump gas. The crazy part is that was only 7,000 RPM where this thing could go to 8,900. Just got exhaust gas temperature sensors on here because this is a really weird manifold, and so I was expecting there to be slight differences in temperature, and it's weird. So I'm kind of glad we did that because I'm starting to see some weird trends between the two, because that was one of my guesses, was we're seeing lean, rich, like the car's not bouncing around that much, so maybe the sensor's picking up something from rotor 1, rotor 2, and sure enough, that's exactly what's going on here. Rule of thumb, about the same temperature means that they're both burning at the same rate, and so you can trust your wideband O2 sensor that much more. Well, unfortunately, we weren't able to make it out to the track, which is such a heartbreaker because I'm finally getting used to what it takes to get a car ready for that, and it's a lot more than just doing pulls, to be honest. So what we'll do is take it over to AutoZone, fix the spark plugs, because we're seeing some problems with the spark plugs. They were all used, but we'll fix that. And then we'll go take her up just a nice little mountain drive up Mount Baldy, just to show you just really how capable this little car is. That's what I've been wanting to do. I just want to show you guys how insane this little car is, even though it looks like a fairly stock 10th anniversary. up. That is not the car. That's the pedal. Which side's the gas tank on? Your side?
This side, yeah.
Listen, she idles at like 800. Like, right, like, but I have to hook my foot underneath and pull the pedal back and remind it where it's supposed to be. $5.20 a gallon, and that's not even race gas or anything. It's crazy to see how times have changed a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can not bottom out even a stock car. Nope, still bottomed out.
Wasn't terrible.
No, that was the best angle I could do with it. Okay, yeah, so she's happy enough. That's really the first time I've driven it on like the road and just enjoyed it.
Oh, that turbo, dude.
Yeah, that turbo, that's nasty. There's our favorite U-Haul. Oh, you got that like orange California vibe going on right now. We've made it to AutoZone, even with a sticky cable. Almost 100% of the time that's passed has been waiting in line at AutoZone. It was horrible. But we got spark plugs and we've got extra coolant just because the system isn't fully bled and you can hear air going through there. But we're going to turn this into a little night cruise down Mount Baldy. Look at this. I got that working.
Sick.
Yeah.
I like the color.
That's all this burnt orange stuff's really pretty. Okay, both headlights are working. Running lights are all working. Everything feels good. Let's see the quickest way up to Mount Baldy. Give it a little bit of gas. Not good. That's not good. That's not good. Clutch pedal's fucked. Hi, I'm Rob Dahm, and this is where the channel came from. It has been years, well, okay, maybe it's been a couple weeks, since I've had tow trucks in the story of all this, and I've tried to shield you guys from all the negativity, but when a clutch pedal goes, the clutch pedal goes. And so we're stuck. We were about to go do the mountain drive, and it was gonna be beautiful. We're literally on the turn, like no joke, if you guys are familiar with Mount Baldy, that's Mount Baldy right there. The clutch pedal sank to the ground in the last 2 to 3 stoplights, and well, you know the rest. So this is all part of the story. Hang on, the payoff's coming for both of us. You get it in this video. I have to do work and take this back to the shop, and be awkward riding in there when we just ate Taco Bell or whatever. We both are farting like crazy. I'm losing my mind is what this is all coming down to. But you know, I do feel comfortable seeing a car getting towed up on a flatbed again. This is you know, bringing the channel back to its roots. Fixed all the clutch issues, and we'll go over that in more detail, but I also fixed the throttle pedal cable once and for all, and so I actually have it now. We're at 900 RPM. I can actually drop it, and this thing will go basically idle all the way down low at like 700, so I'm pretty impressed with that. It's no longer rev it and then it stays at 3000 RPM. She's finally much happier. I got new spark plugs, I got all that all in there. So I'm gonna do a couple pulls here first, and then we're gonna finish this video off right. I'm taking a shit ton of fuel out of this area. So we'll take away. So now that all the spark plug issues, all the pedal issues, everything, this car is so much fun. I'm gonna finally go and do another pull, and hopefully what you just heard was it going so rich it was breaking up. Now hopefully it'll be more in the middle area. This is Goldilocks. Too much, too little, those are both wrong. You have to get it just right. I want you guys to see something real quick. There's something that's mind-blowing to me. 225, okay? 225, 255. How the hell is this car? Like, I'm thankful for Kumo bringing this to my mind because I get to share this with you guys. These tires stick really, really well. So this is really blown my mind that this is whatever, a 600 horsepower car, maybe about 400 by the time there, and I'm able to stop it way better than the 3-rotor with wide-ass racing slicks. The Exta V730s, I'm a fan. I am genuinely a fan because they aren't supposed to, they're not supposed to be anything else. They can handle on top of hauling ass like that. So I'm very impressed. The car is really picking up. It is wonderful. So we might not make it to the top with sunlight, but I wanted you guys to see this right now because as I'm doing these pulls, I'm like, I'm on what I would think is very small tires, very skinny tires. And you see, I would be, on the 3-rotor, I'd be sliding past that. And so, and I don't even have ABS in this either. So that's me just mashing it. And I could probably mash it even harder, but oh my God, that is wonderful. So we're still a little rich, which is the direction we want to go to. But anytime you hear it kind of break up, that's it rich, a little too rich. Oh my God, is it really coming in line? Very, very tame car. And then just opens up psycho mode.
First gear sounded really good.
First gear was really good. I'm gonna look at it right now a little bit more, but what you'll hear is partially through the gears. If you're just a little rich, the car dies on power, so I can feel that's just a slight bit more fuel, because it's like you already have tons of extra gasoline for insurance, you know, so you don't blow the motor, but then a little too much and it just kills the motor. This is what we deserved yesterday and the day before and the week before that and the month before that. This car has just had stupid small problems. And as you guys might know on the channel, my goal, like my New Year's resolution, new year, new me, has been to just make these things polished, not finish the project and not actually be finished. So look at that. She's honestly ready for the track right now. She really feels good. Like you can hear it's not going to die off when I gun it.
The drivability is way better.
Yeah. And the pedals aren't sticking. And we still have it at low boost, but it wants more. Listen to that. Ooh. That's what she's supposed to sound like. And we're going uphill, so it might work our advantage to sound cool, but she's just so much polish. Pedals feel great. You don't hear the clutch pedal kicking at all. Gas pedal comes back down. We're idling at 1,000, exactly what I was kind of hoping for when the car warms up. It idles at like 800, 900 cold. Well, I think it's like 850, 900. So it's just a lot of good things all at once. Want me to do it for the camera? Okay, I'll do it again. I have no problem. Must behave. Must behave. This brings out the kid in me, wanting those boost noises over and over.
A little bit more fun than the inside.
Yeah, it's tough. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. We're pulling the Band-Aid off quick. We were just here 23 hours ago, and not pleasant. We just need to make it past this. Clutch is still perfectly solid. Everything's looking good, feeling good. Vibe checks are positive. We're gonna lose cell phone signal, so it really does matter. We did it. We did it. We're good. Yeah.
We did it, Joe.
All temps are amazing. And we're loading the car up going uphill. So if she's gonna fail, she would have failed. Nice little baby pool. Yep. Still rich. Still rich.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go. Third gear isn't as rich because it needs more fuel. Yeah. We're gonna pull off in a sec just to show you guys how beautiful this part of the drive is before we lose sunlight altogether. Those of you guys that aren't familiar with this area or just SoCal in general or ever want to visit, Mount Baldy is this road. It's kind of one of those like close, accessible like mountain towns, and it's really wild because in another 10 minutes we'll be in a town that does not look like LA. It doesn't. The people probably don't even associate with Southern California. It's that different. This is all Inland Empire, the valley out here, and so my shop is in the middle of all this. And what's wild is all the way down in the back there is called a place called Corona, but there's like a slight curve, slight ramp angle downward, so you can actually coast from here all the way over there. It's pretty funny. We got to do it. We did it with the car, and huge thanks to Kumo for making this happen. These tires are very impressive, and we're not even at the skill level necessary to even say, hey, these are top of the line, because I can't get there. They're so good, I'm not there. So we're gonna continue beating the crap out of this car, taking it to track days, but the V730 tires are very, very impressive, and I know that building the car from the ground up, from literally the tires all the way up, we built one hell of a car. The sun might be leaving us, but this isn't just to make a video. This is literally for ourselves to enjoy. We're gonna go up Mount Baldy the rest of that little bit away just to enjoy this car on this road. So I still have some tuning to do. I have a lot of tuning to do, but if you had this car, you'd kind of want to do the same thing. I want to take it like tight on a turn just to really feel that, like what we built. Oh, this thing's gonna hug. We're at super low RPMs too. That's the funny part. I think because of it both being the good sticky tires and the lightness of the car. It was amazing. Yeah. It doesn't feel like our simulator version of this car. Yeah, we'll go up to that little thing up there at least. The tune's actually really good for these you know, the torque involved in this.
especially with the elevation, I think the richness kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we are.
I feel the G-force.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, those brakes are pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah. She needs to work on her rebound going back down. The car like spikes and stays up in the air a little bit. Temps are great.
cell, massive flame.
I wonder what was lighting up everything. I thought my rear taillights were
No,
blowing
dude,
up.
they're fucking sick.
Dude, I thought like the. Oh my god, that is no joke. I will never get old of that. That will never get old. I will never get tired of it. All of the above.
It's a little highway mode.
Little rich, right at the edge of being too rich. I was like, no, we'll fix that before we do any more pulls. We made it. No events, no nothing. Car is solid as hell. I got a full log just to look over all the moments and different weird ups and downs. I spent like that time that you would if you weren't rushing for YouTube videos, that time where you can really finesse the car because you love the car. I've been spending all that time on the map. I spent quite a few hours last night instead of sleeping, and very, very pleased with this car. And so that's cool and all, but just like in the Spirit 3-rotor, I want to see how fast I can make it. It spools up pretty quick, but it keeps getting rich because it's a new area of the map for me. Let's see if we get these tires to unstick.
That was sick.
Yeah. Listen to that, this thing's so tame and then it opens up like that. And of course I got the tires finally loose, but they're cold, it's cold out, and that thing wants blood. That's on pump gas, 11 PSI, and that's so low in the RPM to me. I'm not used to that being just like, okay, we'll keep going. I was like, oh wait, I can stay in first gear. Oh, I could go into second gear. I've got power in both, either one works. That is really impressive. Back due to popular demand, I am going to do a couple more pulls because other people can't achieve this and they end up LS swapping. Yeah, you remember this guy. Put him on blast.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Anthony. This is Anthony. Yep. LS swapping bitch.
LS swap Poppy, get it right.
He was trying to peer pressure me. Yeah, literally no, I wasn't put on blast.
That shit sounds slow as fuck. I just have to be real with you. The C5 sounds like shit.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. C5 sounds like complete anus, like prolapsed, like one guy, one jar
I'm
anus.
sorry, dude. You have this beautiful sounding accent.
Yeah.
Raps. Fucking C5 sounds like it's dying.
Yeah.
It needs help.
Even when I was doing the donuts over there, I was like, yeah, that's what happens when you put a Corvette exhaust on a rotary. Needless to say, that's insane. That car just pulls, and that's pump gas. Trying to be the most mild build in the shop, and I can't help it. I think the guys are right.
Time for some eats.
It's time for doing ecstasy, ethanol.